Okay, so today we're going to break down a massive shift happening across social media. I'm talking about a change so fundamental, it's rewriting the rules for who gets seen and who gets totally left behind. And it all kicks off with a number that, honestly, you're just not going to expect. So it all started with a story that's becoming, well, weirdly common. Picture this, a creator, right? They've got just 247 followers. They post a super simple, totally unedited video straight from their desk. We're talking no fancy team, no studio, literally just an idea. And this is how many views that little 19-second video pulled in just 48 hours. I mean, think about that. By day 10, boom, brand deals are rolling in. By day 14, they'd quit their job. Insane, right? Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's a one-off, a fluke. But it's not. This is a pattern we're seeing everywhere, on every major platform. And what it shows us is a deep, fundamental change in how the internet itself decides what's worth your attention. So let's get into it. This whole pattern is part of what we're calling the Great Creator Shakeup. And it's exactly what it sounds like. We're seeing this massive, chaotic shift where these small, completely unknown creators are just exploding onto the scene. And at the same time, some of the biggest names out there, they're suddenly struggling to even get noticed. And, it's not just about the newcomers rising. On the flip side, just look at the data for the big, established creators. We're talking about people with millions of followers whose views have absolutely collapsed since late 2025. It's like the algorithm isn't just promoting new faces, it's actively pushing the old guard down. Okay, so this brings us to the most important question, right? Why? Why do the platforms, which for years rewarded big accounts and consistent posting, suddenly decide to just flip the entire script? Well, it really just boils down to economics. The old way of doing things, relying on those huge creators, it got kind of stale. It was reliable, yeah, but also super expensive and predictable. The new way, though, it's all about the small creators. They're cheap, they're raw, and they create this intense, almost chaotic engagement that the algorithms absolutely feast on. It was just a smart business move for the platforms. And to pull this off, the platforms had to change the very thing they measure. They shifted their focus away from just total engagement over a long period of time to something new called engagement velocity. Basically, it stopped being about how many likes a video gets and started being all about how fast it gets them, right after you hit post. And that one little change completely flips the game on its head. It now rewards discovery over habit. Think about it. A video from a tiny creator gets a burst of super fast engagement from their small but passionate audience. That sends a massive high-velocity signal to the algorithm. It's like a flare going up that says, hey, this is hot, and that's the trigger that pushes it out to millions of people. So because of this big shift, there's a completely new formula for what actually goes viral. The old playbook, you can pretty much throw it out the window. The stuff that's winning right now, it has 5 key things in common. And yeah, it's pretty much the opposite of that super polished stuff we've been seeing for years. First, it's short, like tight, focused bursts. Second, it's hyper-specific. We're not talking hotel facts. We're talking why hotel curtains never seem to close all the way. It's also really unpolished, raw, authentic, real. It has to be useful or novel, teaching you something or showing you something you've never seen before. And maybe most importantly, it's risky. It's made by creators who have nothing to lose, so they're willing to try anything. All right, so if you're a creator or you're thinking about becoming one, you're probably wondering, how do I jump on this? Well, there is a very clear playbook that's starting to emerge. This new playbook is pretty straightforward. Number 1, lead with the payoff. Get to the good stuff in the first 3 seconds. 2, embrace imperfection. Your phone is literally good enough. That raw look signals it's real. 3, go deep on super narrow, specific topics. 4, give people instant utility. Solve a tiny problem for them right away. 5, post a lot and be consistent. And finally, number 6, and this one's huge, optimize for shares, not for subscribers. And of course, this strategy isn't one size fits all. It looks a little different depending on where you are. On YouTube Shorts, for example, they're aggressively pushing new creators into the spotlight. Over on TikTok, it's all about that first-second hook. You have to grab them instantly. And get this, even LinkedIn is getting in on the action, favoring really personal, tactical advice from people you've never heard of before. Okay, but before you rush off to quit your day job, we need to pump the brakes for a second. We have to be realistic here and talk about the darker side of this whole new creator economy. Because this boom, it comes with a pretty serious catch. And all of this leads to the one critical question that everyone, especially aspiring creators, needs to be asking themselves. Is any of this actually sustainable? In a system that chews up and spits out talent this fast, can this boom really last? For most creators, the hard answer is probably not. This timeline right here shows the brutal reality of it. The entire life cycle, from going viral to hitting a plateau and then fading away, is now happening in as little as 18 months. It's incredibly fast. And the uncomfortable truth behind that life cycle? It's that the platforms actually profit from this churn. They don't really care about creator stability. They care about user engagement. They have a massive financial incentive to just keep cycling through fresh, cheap talent to keep all of us hooked and the ad dollars flowing. So here's the real takeaway. This isn't some new, fairer system for creators. You have to think of it more like a temporary window of opportunity, a moment in time where the odds are, for once, tilted in your favor. It's a huge opportunity, but it's a fleeting one. Right now, in early 2026, the barrier to entry has literally never been lower. Remember that person with 247 followers? They didn't have a fancy strategy or a big studio. They just had something to say and a phone. And for now, that's all you need. But that clock, it is definitely ticking.